Good afternoon, and welcome to another Furuno Technology Showcase. I'm Bart Disher, Commercial Business Development Manager for Furuno, and today we're going to be going over the GP1871 and GP1971 GPS chart plotter fish finder combination units. We've got the 7-inch GP1871F up here, and the 9-inch GP1971F right here. As you can see, these are a cosmetic match to our TZ Touch 2 and TZ Touch 3 product families. Now right now we've got them flush mount into the dash of our display here. However, they will come with a bracket and knob so you can mount it on a tabletop, or if you need to mount it from an overhead, you can easily do that as well. Now both of these systems have a built-in high sensitivity 72 channel GPS receiver, as well as a couple of built-in fish finder options. Number one being a 1 kilowatt res boost 50 and 200 kilohertz fish finder, or you could choose a single channel true echo chirp in either the low frequency, medium frequency, or high frequency. So that's the similarities, and let's now start in with some of the features of these, and we're going to start with the chart plotter functions. These units will use CMAP 4D chart cards, and there's a little chart card slot on the side of every single unit. Each unit will have a place to put in a CMAP 4D chart card. Now some of the things that we've worked on with these GP series are making the user interface the exact same as the TZ Touch 2 and TZ Touch 3 systems. So if you see here, I have my edge swipes that I can do. I can swipe out from the left and bring out my data pages. I can swipe up from the bottom and bring up all different types of chart information or chart overlays or chart functions that I can turn on or off. If I swipe out from the right, I've got quick tools that I can easily use. These are also multi-touch chart plotters, so I can pinch to zoom very quickly or zoom out. And I've got a slider bar here on the side that'll do the exact same thing. With these systems, what I'm able to do is touch anywhere on the screen and new options will come up. And the first one you see there is new point. So just like that, I can come in and lay down a new point. Now if I wanted to go to that point, I can touch there on the point and hit go to. Or I can easily come down here and delete the point. Now a couple of other things we've brought into these GP series plotters is the ability to do easy routing. And with our CMAP 4D chart cards, I can come in and touch anywhere on the screen and choose easy routing. And easy routing is a feature that we use all the chart information on screen to build a route perfectly suitable for you. We also have polylines, and a polyline is an area that I don't want to go into, or a boundary line, or a no fishing zone. So let's say on 4th of July there's a boundary limit area. I don't want to go to that area, so I can set up a polyline very easily. One of the last swipes that I can do is an edge swipe from the top, and that can actually bring me into my hot pages. So right here I've got, right next to my chart plotter, I've got my fish finder hot page. It's very easy to go right directly into the fish finder. And again, you'll see I have the same edge swipe functionality for all my data boxes. From the bottom, I now bring in fish finder modes and operations. And again, from the right side, I have quick access tools. The historical feature of our TZ Touch and TZ Touch 3 fish finders was something that we brought into the GP series plotters and fish finders. And being able to go back in history and look at all my fish marks and look at this pile of fish right here and say, that's an interesting mark. That's fish right there that I want to go and find. I'm going to touch the screen there, and I'm going to hit new point. Well, right now, a new point was just added to my chart plotter screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swipe down from the top. I'm going to go back to my chart plotter. And as I zoom in on my vessel, I'll see right there that that new point was laid behind my boat. I can quickly come right here and very easily touch that point and hit go to, and just like that I can go from seeing a mark on my fish finder to navigating right back to it. If I wanted to stop navigation, I just hit stop nav. Now, one of the other functions that these units can do is, as you saw from the top here, I've got a radar option. So right here I've got my radar screen. Now, the radar that this unit will use is our compact DRS-4W First Watch wireless radar. It's a point-to-point Wi-Fi connection, and again, the same functionality as my other screens. Data boxes come out. My edge swipe from the bottom just brings me to all of my radar options. And then again, my quick nav tools. Zooming in and out can be done with pinch to zoom or with the slider bar right here. And one of the other things you saw me doing was I was coming down and I was dropping down from the top and I was choosing a hot page. Well, when I choose a hot page that's a split screen, as you see here, because I have a multi-touch machine and because we introduced function gestures, I can actually choose to take 2 fingers, and because I'm now controlling the chart plotter, I can take 2 fingers and snap right to the chart plotter screen very easily. If I want to zoom out, now I'm on the chart plotter. If I want to go back into my split screen, 2 fingers will go right in and snap back to my split screen. If I want to do that for the fish finder, all I have to do is take control of the fish finder. You see my yellow box around it. And now I come here and click 2 fingers and I snap right to my fish finder. I can come back into my home page now and I can actually build my hot pages. So these are the hot pages that you saw pinned to the top. Well, if I wanted something different or something new up there, all I would have to do is come in and add a new display. And let's say I wanted to add a split screen with radar and fish finder. And I just easily hit OK. And now you can see that's an option on my home page, but I haven't yet pinned it to my hot page bar. So all I have to do is push and hold and pin it. And now when I go back to here and go to my hot pages, that one right there is one of my hot page options. So very quick and very easy to build new hot pages by going to your home page or swiping down and just going to one of the hot pages you have here. So that's the GPS chart plotter, the fish finder, and the radar. All of those functions are available on the GP series plotters. However, there's a lot more. These are perfect NMEA 2000 data displays. You can put big numbers up on any one of these displays or show dynamic position anywhere you want. I also have the ability to show AIS, which is Automatic Identification System. Our FA40 or FM4800 can show you receive targets, okay, so receive only. Our FA70, which is a Class B transmit and receive, can display targets on screen as well as transmit. And then we have our FA170 Class A AIS that will also show up targets on screen. We can even add in autopilot functionality. So the autopilot that we can use would be the NavPilot 711C or the NavPilot 300. And in a quarter screen, you can get control for auto or standby without reaching for an autopilot control head, just right from the GP series screen. There's one more thing that we added in with our version 3 software, and that was the Mirror Control app. And the Mirror Control app is an application on either iOS or Android devices that can show you complete control of your GP plotter onto your iPhone or Android device. So you'll see here that I show everything on screen, but if I touch my home page, I easily come home and I can switch my displays. And now I've got chart plotter, fish finder, split screen very easily. All right, so we have touched on the autopilot, touched on the chart plotter, touched on the fish finder, touched on the radar, and all these different functions that we've got. What I'd like to do now is I'd like to kick it out to the audience to see if there's any questions that we received.
Yeah, so we got a couple of questions that came in. First question is, can I connect this up to DFF3D multi-beam sonar?
Yeah, the DFF 3D multi-beam sonar is a great product. However, the GP series plotters just are not compatible with the DFF 3D.
And what is the difference between low, medium, and high chirp?
Sure. So the low frequency chirp is going to be a bandwidth between 30 and 60 kilohertz. The medium frequency chirp is going to be a bandwidth between 80 and 130 kilohertz. And the high frequency chirp is going to be a bandwidth between 130 and 210 kilohertz.
And so you briefly mentioned charts. What charts, where do I get them, and how much are they?
Yeah, so the charts are all CMAP 4D charts. You can get them on CMAP's website. You can go to our Furuno USA dealers and get them from them as well. Regionally, you're going to find your coverage zones. So depending on areas of coverage, depending on levels of detail, pricing can be anywhere from $150 to $400. And each individual unit will have to have a chart card in it.
And so are these the same charts that's used in the TZ Touch?
They're CMAP charts, but they're different. Like I said, there's a chart card slot on the side, and the TZ Touch has unlock codes and unique identifiers.
And does the unit do bottom discrimination?
Yeah, bottom discrimination is a very useful tool. And to find all of the bottom discrimination compatible transducers, there's a list on our website, FurunoUSA.com. So if you go and do a model search for GP1871 or GP1971, it'll have a list in there for bottom discrimination transducers.
So from a user on Facebook, he asked, how is the overall performance using the legacy P66 Airmar transducer for those of us who won't be using chirp?
Sure, these are plug-and-play transducers. And what I will say is, if you're used to using the fish finder that was on your existing vessel or that you've previously had, this is going to be even better because it's got that ResBoost fish finder in it. And we've seen up to 8 times more clarity with the ResBoost fish finders.
So a user from YouTube says, hey, hi, can you tell about the fish finder settings like TVG, gain, and frequency on a TZ3?
We're going to address a lot of those other features in a TZT3 session. Today's all about the GP series plotters.
And one customer asked, is that app that you showed an Apple app or an Android app?
Yeah, good question. It's an iOS and Android app, and it can be on whether it's a tablet or a smartphone.
A Facebook user asked, is there any specific low-frequency Furuno transducer to plug into the GP1971F?
I don't know the specific models. I can tell you they're all on our website. We have the low, the medium, and the high options there. I want to say they're B175 something, but I'd have to get the actual numbers and send them along.
And another customer asked, will the DRS4W do radar overlay on the chart?
Yeah, the DRS4W First Watch wireless radar will do heading overlay as long as you've got a source for heading. An easy source for heading from our side would be our new SCX20 satellite compass, and that can easily just plug right into the NMEA 2000 backbone.
So a YouTube customer asked a question in regard to the DFF 3D and SC33 SAT compass that probably neither one of those function, as far as the DFF 3D with this unit, correct?
No, they won't. I mean, the GP series can get heading from the SC33 very easily, but not the DFF 3D.
And we have a customer ask, is there any charts that's already built into the unit at all?
So these are going to have a base map for reference, but every single GP that you put on your vessel is going to have a chart put into the side slots here. They won't share charts across anywhere.
And can I see the radar on my iPad and a GP unit at the same time?
Absolutely. So the DRS4W can allow for 2 connections, and it can be either 2 Android devices, or it could be 1 Android device and 1 GP, or it could be 2 GPs, but there's 2 connections that it can allow.
So a Facebook customer from Crete, Greece says that the 1971F is amazing, but the 4D charts in their area doesn't have as good a detail as they would like. Wants to know if there's any other options like Navionics.
As of right now, I don't believe we have Navionics compatibility. It's a never say never situation, and what we can do is we can take the information to CMAP and present it to them and say, this is where we need improved coverage. And I can speak from experience here in the States that we've done that with CMAP and said, here's where you're lacking, and they've been responsive.
All right, and another user says, if I have 2 units together on the chart sharing the radar, can the units also share the chart card?
They don't share chart cards, no. So again, each individual unit is going to have a chart card inside of it. Nothing will share across the NMEA 2000 backbone, and there's no network there to share.
All right, let's see if there's any more questions here. A user says, is there any chance to be able to get in touch with some technicians from Furuno USA here in Spain, because they don't have a clue and don't even speak English, so I need to translate the manuals for them.
So the Furuno USA forum is a great place to go and try and get resource and information. So if you don't search or you don't find the answer that you're looking for from our forum, you can absolutely go to our website and ask a question. The Furuno USA website has an Ask the Question area. But I would start with the forum to see if there's a place where you can find an answer there. And then if you have to resort to going to our website, you can ask a question to Furuno.
Is there a possibility to connect the DRS-4W to an Android device in the future?
No. No,
And
I don't believe so.
Does the radar work together with a NavPilot 300? For example, if there is a ship on the way, if there is a ship on the way, does it change routes automatically?
No, we don't have that capability. What you would have to do is you would have to do a dodge function on the autopilot. What you did see on screen was when I went to the radar screen, there is a lollipop for a go-to, and you can get reference there. So if we have an active go-to on the radar or on the chart plotter, it will show up on the radar. But you will have to make that change manually on the autopilot.
And let's see. So that is the last question. And it's just some little chatter there. I didn't see anything additional unless something else comes in.
Okay. Listen, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Next week, we're going to have an Ask the Experts panel regarding all things Furuno for any type of vessel. The goal is for you to ask any questions about your vessel, what's a perfect fit for me, and we hope to see you next week. I want to thank everybody again for tuning in. We will have more of these in the future, so for the next 5 or 6 weeks, we're going to have more Furuno technology showcases. If you missed this one, or if you want to go back and look at some of the other videos that we've got, you can visit our Furuno YouTube page, our Furuno Facebook page, or our Furuno Instagram page and get all of these videos and more. Again, this is Bart Disher with Furuno, and appreciate you tuning in. Thank you.